Hello again, fourth graders. Let's do some homework. Get out your 60 book. We are going to go to page 111 and look at the lesson 5 homework helper. It says David weighs 46 kilograms, 89 grams. Here's the tape diagram for David. This is how much he weighs. Adam weighs 3,741 grams less than David. So here's Adam's tape diagram. We don't know how much he weighs, so they put the letter A for Adam's weight. We only know he weighs 3,741 grams less than David. So this space from the end of Adam's tape to where David's tape ends, this is how much less Adam weighs. So they labeled the space with 3,741 grams. Then it says Joseph weighs 2,801 grams less than Adam. Here's Joseph's tape diagram. We don't know his weight, so they labeled it with a variable, J for Joseph. And here we can see how much less he weighs than Adam. So this space that goes from the end of Joseph's tape to the end of Adam's tape, this is how much less he weighs. So they labeled the space 2,801 grams. Now let's look how they solved it. It says, I don't know Adam's weight. I labeled this. Now let's see how they solved the problem. They need to find out how much Adam weighs. So they used David's weight and subtracted how much less he weighs, right here, and they got Adam's weight, 42,348 grams. So A equals 42,348 grams. That's Adam's weight. Now we have to find Joseph's weight. So they used the number they got for Adam's weight, right? And subtracted how much less Joseph weighs, 2,801 grams, and did the algorithm, and they figured out that Joseph weighs 39,547 grams. The answer statement needs to answer the question, how much does Joseph weigh? So their answer statement says Joseph weighs 39,547 grams. Let's turn the page. This word problem has different boxes that have different weights, and they have to figure out how much box B weighs and how much box C weighs. And they're using the tape diagrams. We know box A's weight, box B, we use the 6,709 grams less, right? So there's subtraction here. And then for box C, it says that box C weighs 13 kilograms, 757 grams more than box B. So this tape is longer, and we put how much more. And then we're to find out how much box C weighs. They have to add this time. So here's their addition. And they find out how much box C weighs, 37,457 grams. And then the question is, what is the difference in grams between the weights of box C and box A? To find the difference, you have to subtract. So here they're subtracting, and they got 6,967 grams. And their answer statement says the difference between the weights of box C and box A is 6,967 grams. All right, let's work on some homework problems. Go to page 113. Model each problem with a tape diagram. Solve and answer with a statement. Number 1 says, the capacity of Joe's vase is 2,419 milliliters of water. He poured 1 liter, 299 milliliters of water into the empty vase. Then he added 398 milliliters. How much more water will the vase hold? We have to think about what this question is asking us to do. There seems to be a lot of steps here. Let's see if we can figure out what to do. Let's start with the first sentence. The capacity of Joe's vase is 2,419 milliliters of water. Capacity means that's how much water it takes to fill up the whole thing. So when we make our tape diagram, the whole or the total amount of water that can go in the vase is 2,419 milliliters. So we'll label that for the whole tape diagram. This is how you do milliliters, lowercase m, capital L. The next sentence says he poured 1 liter, 299 milliliters of water into the empty vase. Right now, our tape diagram is empty. We're going to put 1 liter, 299 milliliters of water into our tape diagram. So the first section that we make on our tape diagram will be 1 liter, 299 milliliters. But we're going to rename it into milliliters. When we rename 1 liter, how many milliliters does that part make? Remember, 1 liter is 1,000 milliliters. So we have 1,000 milliliters and the 299 milliliters. We're going to combine those together to make one number. If you add 1,000 plus 299, what does that make? Did you say 1,299? That's right. Now let's label milliliters. Okay, let's see what happens next. Then he added 398 milliliters. So we need to put more on our tape diagram. This time, 398 milliliters. That's not very much, so I'm going to make this part a small piece of the tape diagram and label it 398 ml. How much more water will the vase hold? Well, look right here on our tape diagram. We still have some space left to find out how much more water can go in the vase to fill it up with 2,419 milliliters. We're going to put a letter. Let's see, let's use W for water. Now we need to find out what the W equals. How can we find out how much more water can go in? There's 2 steps we need to do. First, we need to find out how much water is already in the vase. So we have the 1,299 and 398 milliliters of water in the vase. If we have this much and this much, that means we're going to add them. So first, let's add. Set up your algorithm like this. Starting in the ones, 9 plus 8 equals 17. Down to 7, compose the 10. 9 plus 9 plus 1 equals 19. Put down the 9, compose the 10 on the line. 2 plus 3 plus 1 equals 6. And 1 plus nothing equals 1. Put your comma and label ml for milliliters. Now we know that there is 1,697 milliliters of water in the vase. Next, we need to find out how much more water can go in the vase to make it full. So how do we find out how much more water can we put in the vase to equal 2,419? Think about it. We're going to subtract this part from the whole. That will tell us this missing part. So The whole is 2,419 milliliters minus this part that we just found out is 1,697. And that will tell us the missing part right here, the W. All right, let's work on our subtracting. We need to check to see if it's ready to subtract. Is 9 minus 7 ready? Yes, it is. Is 1 minus 9 ready? Nope. We need to decompose. Cross off the 4, make it a 3, give 10 to the 1 in the tens place. So now that is 11. Okay, 11 minus 9 is ready. How about 3 minus 6? That's not ready. We need to decompose. Cross off the 2, make it a 1, give 10 to the 3 in the hundreds. So now that's 13. 13 minus 6 is ready, and 1 minus 1 is ready. Now do all your subtracting. 9 minus 7 is 2. 11 minus 9 equals 2. 13 minus 6 equals 7. And 1 minus 1 equals 0. You can just leave it blank. Put your label on 722 milliliters. That's how much more water the vase will hold. So W equals 722 milliliters. We need to write our answer statement. We need to answer the question, how much more water will the vase hold? The vase will hold 722 more milliliters of water. Here we go. All right, let's work on number 2. Eric biked 1 kilometer, 125 meters on Monday. On Tuesday, he biked 375 meters less than on Monday. How far did he bike both days? All right, let's start with our tape diagrams. First, we will do Monday. How far did he go on Monday? 1 kilometer, 125 meters. Let's rename that into meters. How many meters for 1 kilometer, 125 meters? I remember that 1 kilometer is 1,000 meters. And I need to add the 125 meters to that. So what number does that make? That would make 1,125 meters. So when I make my tape diagram for Monday, this will be M for Monday. It will be 1,125 meters. Now for Tuesday, we're going to need a different tape diagram. He biked 375 meters less than on Monday. So let's think about the size of the tape. Should it be longer or shorter than the Monday? It should be a little shorter because it's 375 meters less. So make it shorter. Do we know how many meters he biked on Tuesday? Not yet. We only know that it was 375 meters less. When we want to show how much less, we're going to label this blank space that goes from the end of the Monday tape to the end of the Tuesday tape. This is how much less. And we're going to label that space with 375 meters. We need to find out how far he biked on Tuesday. This will be T for Tuesday. What can we do to solve for T? Should I add, subtract, multiply, or divide to find out this missing piece? We're going to subtract Monday's number, 125 meters minus how much less? 375 meters. That will tell us how far he biked on Tuesday. I want you to check to see if it's ready to subtract and then do all your subtracting. Pause the video, do your subtracting, and then press play when you're ready to check your work. Did you get 750 meters? If you did, good job. Now we still have to finish the problem. That's not the end. The question says, how far did he bike both days? That means we need to figure out how much he biked in all. We now know Tuesday was 750 meters. Okay, this one's 750. Monday was 1,125 meters. What should we do with the Monday and the Tuesday meters to find out how far he biked on both days? Should we add, subtract, multiply, or divide? To find out how far he went on both days, we need to add them. Add 1,125 meters plus 750 meters. Do your adding, see what you get. Did you get 1,875 meters? Good job. So that's how far he went on both days. Now we need to write our answer statement. His name is Eric. And what did he do? He biked. And here's the distance he biked, 1,875 meters. When did he go that far? On both days. And there's our answer statement. Now you see if you could try some of the other word problems on your own. I know you can do it. You're a smart cookie. Goodbye. I'll see you next time.